Twilight-Hate. How badly does it hurt you? Hi, I'm Dr. Sykley, author of The Twilight Mind and The Twilight Symbols. Warning. This is an important social speech with adult themes that may offend some people. This is a social Twilight rap. Twilight-Hate is crap. It attacks, it's a slap in a girl's face because it embraces misogynist values in you critics use. It is a great pleasure to dedicate my book, The Twilight Symbols, to the biggest adult Twilight fan site in the US and maybe even the whole world, Twilight mums. Who or what is a Twilight mum? Well, one source says that a Twilight mum is a woman older than 25, has children, can be married, who has a very old, saggy, crusty badge. She sits at home at her computer, masturbating to pictures of Edward Cullen. She doesn't bathe her kids or feed them, instead locks them in a cage and tosses in a couple of crackers now and then. Definition 2. A group of 40-something premenopausal women who have been neglecting their children, spouses, jobs and various pets since 2008 to post their ramblings about a vampire. Definition 3. A website full of uneducated, middle-aged women who sneak out onto the set of the Twilight movie. I need something to eat. I'm hungrier than a Twilight mum's kid. Wait, there's more. A recent US article called Twilight, Take Me Away called Twilight mums middle-aged mums swooning over the Twilight saga. This is unthinkable. Another source says that the only people obsessed with Twilight are teens and fat suburban mums from the Midwest. One post said the Twilight mums are the worst combination of cougar and deluded teenage fan. Yes, folks, I'm talking Twilight-Hate. What do these views about Twilight mums suggest? What do these Twilight mums criticisms mean? Most importantly, how do these Twilight-hating messages affect you, me, us, them, and supposed social progress? From a psychological point of view, these attacks on Stephenie Meyer's famous Twilight saga and its female fans is nothing more than an example of destructive sexism and misogyny. Of course, as long as human history has existed, so too has female oppression in a myriad of different forms. And wealth came to be owned by men to benefit men. Inequality of power and social status emerged. Today's Twilight-Hate, all those degrading criticisms of female author Twilight saga and its female fans, is a powerful example of female oppression. Extra disgraceful because it's occurring in a so-called new and socially progressive age. Twilight haters repeat history, reminding everyone with words that women should not speak, read, write or participate in public. Twilight saga attacks oppressed women by degrading their public voice. Twilight-Hate attacks women's freedom and expression, their public identity and their social and sexual power. Listen to this quote. Edward's cold marble lips pressed very softly against mine. My breath came in a wild gasp. My fingers knotted in his hair, clutching him to me. My lips parted as I breathed in his heady scent. What's this? It's a scene from the Twilight book, page 247, a reference to romance, passion and sexuality from the female point of view. So what do Twilight critics do? They accuse the Twilight books as being worthless trash. They desexualise female Twilight fans. How? By calling Twilight mums as people who have saggy, crusty badges and calling female fans sexually perverted, as this recent internet image shows. The caption says, if these were 40-year-old men screaming for 17-year-old girls, someone could call the police. Twilight-Hate is a brainwashing trick similar to social strategies used in other societies to limit female thought, choice, action and sexuality. Twilight-Hate and many other social customs around the world serve to disempower women. When a middle-aged woman from the 21st century shows interest in an adoring romantic 19th century Byronic hero like vegetarian vampire Edward Cullen, this may surely awaken some kind of female passion and self-respect. But of course, these Twilight Saga scenes express female viewpoints and female sexual strengths. So, the sex stereotype supporters, the male chauvinists and social control freaks feel threatened, erecting ideological terrorist attacks and spitting out abuse. Oh no, better put these women back in their place. How? With Twilight-Hate. Let's degrade women's public interest in the Twilight Saga publicly. Let's erode women's self-confidence by calling them sexually sick for liking the Twilight Saga. Here's another Twilight attack worth noting. This time, male author Stephen King rubbishes Stephenie Meyer. She can't write worth a darn, he says. Sadly, these unhelpful attacks on the Twilight Saga are no different to so many other cruel forms of female oppression whose mission and methods are the same. Here's a very similar example of a female artist blasted for expressing female sexuality. Madonna is a slut. Madonna is a trashy whore. Another related example of female oppression: domestic violence against women in the UK, US and Australia. Other examples from around the world that interrelate with Twilight-Hate and seek to crush the female spirit: gang rape and murder, sex slave trade, Thailand, foot binding, China, acid attacks, India, genital mutilation, Africa, stoned to death, Iran, hung, shot, Iran, Babi Yar massacre, Ukraine. The world's largest single mass killing ever. These examples are brutal, but hiding reality isn't going to solve reality's problems. That's why, for the first time in the world, I am exposing Twilight-Hate and its destructive impact. Twilight attacks are verbal sticks and stones thrown at women to oppress them. Is this any different to a stone-throwing country? Twilight-Hate is an ideological form of female mutilation, a use of words to curb female expression and kill women's freedom. Words are weapons. They devalue women, cause psychological damage, violate women's confidence and sense of control, disempowering everyone. According to psychology professor Philip Smith, language is the repository of our shared wisdom, or lack of it, about the sexes and our thinking about men and women. What people say about men and women promote high status, low status, visible, invisible, strong, weak, rich, poor, the theme of oppressor and oppressed. Twilight-Hate, rape, stoning, hanging, shooting, female genocide. Your intolerance of Twilight-Hate, your tolerance of it, your avoidance to act, these are not unrelated events. They all seek to oppress women, to silence mothers, grandmothers, your friends, relatives, your sisters, your daughters. Shh. Can you see the far-reaching implications of Twilight-Hate? Can you see the parallels between Twilight-Hate and other female oppressing tactics? Just like parallel bars of a bird cage, each controlling metal bar by itself is not oppressive, but together each one builds a strong prison. Twilight-Hate insults and incarcerates everyone ideologically. This includes you and me. Twilight-Hate teaches everyone to hate. Hate breeds hate. Twilight-hating comments help to build a strong, solid cage for all of us. Oppressors just end up oppressing themselves. Whether you stone women in the USA with words or stone women with rocks in Afghanistan, every criticism, every event is an act of female oppression. Many modes, same game. Twilight-haters. Why do you bully a fan site like Twilight Mums that hurts no one, that raises money for charity? Why do you want to criticise a book that helps people, inspires people, gets people reading? When you hurt such stories as the Twilight Tale, you hurt yourself. You will never know how much that story, person or object of your oppression has to offer. You're strangling your own happiness, shooting down your own dreams, stoning and obliterating your own hopes with your own discrimination, self-mutilating your unlimited psyche. Ms. Meyer's idea for her amazing Twilight story emerged inside a dream. And my little dream here today is to present you with two Twilight promoting books. The Twilight Mind and the Twilight Symbols. Miss Stephanie Meyer's Twilight Saga tale offers many positive messages about friendship, family, courage, hope, love, morality, listening to your inner voice, beating depression, anxiety and suicide. Twilight-hating only limits and destroys your power. Instead, want to know how the Twilight Saga can help you to be more happy, healthy and free? Want to check out some Twilight-inspired skills that can increase your psychological and personal power in life? Why not discover the Twilight universe in a whole new way? Let the good in Stephanie Meyer's Twilight Saga free your inner power. Thank you for listening.